Welcome to Westgard Advisor for Unity Real-Time Training, Part 3. OPSpecs Charts plot the allowable bias versus the allowable imprecision. Westgard Advisor can generate multiple sets of rules for a test based on different TEA and consensus group settings. Comparing different OPSpecs charts is an easy way to determine which settings are the most appropriate. First, we'll work on understanding OPSpecs charts in the abstract before looking at them in the context of the software. Our OPSpecs charts always have the test listed in the bottom left corner. You'll find the header for the chart listed across the top. In this case, the TEA is 11.6% with an AQA of 90%. The AQA is the Analytical Quality Assurance, or error detection. The AQA is given in terms of 90%, 50%, 25%, or less than 25% in the case of a maximum QC condition. The horizontal axis displays the allowable imprecision. The actual imprecision value is provided in the chart footer. The vertical axis displays the allowable inaccuracy. The actual inaccuracy value is also provided in the chart footer. The footer also provides the probability of false rejection and the number of control measurements. Now that we have the framework for our chart, we can plot our operating point. This is the point where your test bias and imprecision intersect. So how do we determine if the operating point is acceptable? We do this with the use of two lines. The first is the maximum limits of stable process. This represents a 1.65 sigma. Our second line is labeled with the suggested QC rules, in this case 3.5s. Ideally, we want both of the lines to be above the operating point. This indicates that we are meeting or exceeding the level of quality assurance listed in the title of the chart. According to Dr. Westgard, we are on solid ground when both lines are above the operating point. However, we are in shallow water when the operating point falls between the two lines. When the operating point has exceeded the rules line, you should consider different rule combinations and try to improve your test method performance. Lastly, you are in deep water if the operating point exceeds the maximum limits of stable process. Again, you should consider different rule combinations and try to improve your test method performance. If the operating point is in deep water, Westgard Advisor will almost certainly recommend a maximum QC procedure. In the case of a maximum QC procedure, all rules are recommended and the number of control samples per run is increased. If the laboratory does not have the resources to implement the recommendation, it should apply the most stringent rules possible, consider ways to improve test method performance, and consider replacing the method with a better one. A maximum QC procedure is not capable of 50% error detection. Do not rely on the control rules alone to provide QC for the method. Use non-statistical factors as well to improve QC for the test. To review, an OPSpecs chart can be used to determine the correct QC procedure for a test. Ideally, the operating point will fall within the area that has been highlighted in green. Now that we've looked at an OPSpecs chart in the abstract, let's look at one in the software. We're on the Design QC Rules tab and have selected one of the possible rule sets that Westgard Advisor has recommended. We've clicked on the Data Charts tab and have selected the test that we want to view, in this case, folate. Finally, we've selected the OPSpecs Chart tab. Take a look at this chart. Does this look like a set of rules that we should consider? Yes, the operating point is on solid ground. Continue your training by viewing Part 4.